Hey y'all, Cindy here. Welcome back. Today I'm going to go over some questions that I had when I first started to crochet. I was self-taught. I didn't know how to crochet, and I saw some YouTube videos, and now I have friends and family who want me to teach them how to crochet, and I'm going to do some quick tutorials on how to do so. So first, I'm going to talk about questions I had when I first started to crochet. I didn't know what size hook to use. I didn't know what size yarn to get. Just to start off, just to learn the basics. So, I'm going to talk to you about that. If you look at all the yarn at all the stores, just go to the yarn aisle and pick up one skein. This is called a skein. So, if it's rolled up into a ball, it's a ball. But this is called a skein of yarn, okay? If you look at the skein on the package itself, it will tell you a number. That is the size of the yarn. So, a 1 is, well, super fine. It's a super fine yarn. Not like as in sexy, but just as in the width of the yarn itself. Okay? So here you see this. It's really thin. There are actually thinner yarns in this. Then you have one that's super chunky. Soft and fuzzy. Oh, so comfortable. You can make blankets from these. Anywho. So then we come down to this one. This is a size, let's turn it, 4. This is a medium weight yarn. This is the one I started off with. The size. Not the actual skein, but the size that I started off with. And you notice that I started off with this one only because it was like it was easier to hold. It wasn't too skinny, it wasn't too fat. So it was easier to hold within my grasp. Okay, so size 4 is what I'm going to recommend to start off with. Because later I'm going to do some tutorials on how to crochet. So let's start off. Go to the store, get your yarn, skein, and your crochet hook. Next, we're going to talk about crochet hooks. The crochet hooks, there are so many hooks out there that you're like, well, which one do I get? Well, I'm going to tell you. To start off, I got a size 8, if you can see that. A size 8, 5.0 millimeter. Okay, so just grab an H hook, and so we can get started and you can learn how to crochet. Okay, so basics. You're going to need size 4 weight yarn and a size H or a 5.0 millimeter hook. Okay, and then once you get your yarn and your hook, then you could come back and watch the video. Okay, so what I'm also going to talk about is how to grab the yarn from the actual skein. When I first started, I was pulling it from the outer part of the skein. If you notice, the actual skein has, there we go, 2 parts. So you can pull it from the outer part, which is the one that's wrapped around the skein itself, or you can pull from the center of the yarn, the skein. So sometimes it's hard to find the center. So you can dig around, but this one luckily already had the yarn hanging out from it. So it's a lot easier to start it off from the center. So if you notice, all you do is just pull. You pull from the center and it just comes out so easy, okay? As of when you start from around the skein, you have to constantly move it or spin the whole thing around. And it really is a lot harder to do it that way. So pull from the center, keeps it together, and it's so much easier to pull out like that. Okay, so questions that I had also. So one was, what size yarn do I start off with? What size hook? How do I get the yarn to not come off the skein so crazy? So there we go. Size 4, size H, or 5.0 millimeter. And also, it doesn't matter what, like I got one that has a rounded hook on the inside. I don't have a different one that but there's one that's like a square, like more square. But I just went with, if you can see the name, it's a BOYE, boy. I went with that brand. You can find it at Walmart, and they're real inexpensive. I thought it was going to be so expensive to learn how to crochet. It's not. You just go to Walmart, or go to your local craft store with your coupons or whatever, and then, you know, find that brand. I really like the boy brand. I learned real easy with that. Because the yarn just slides real smoothly off the hook. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is, I didn't know how to hold the yarn itself on my hand. I was like, how do you hold it? I don't get it. So I'm going to show you the way I learned, and also another way you can do it. It's really your preference. You just have to fiddle around, and I mean, it took me a couple of tries, and actually it took me 2 days, because after the first day I wanted to quit. But don't quit. I'm telling you, once you get the hang of it, it's real easy. It's really fun. You can make fun projects, make up your own projects, you know, and enjoy yourself, okay? So, when I first started, I held the yarn like this, and I would wrap it around my finger, and then I would pinch, you know, be able to pinch with my middle finger and my thumb finger, okay? Because you will be using both of your hands, one to hold the hook and the other to hold the yarn. So you have to find a comfortable way to do it, otherwise you're going to just give up and you're going to be like, I don't like this. So, how I hold it now is, I wrap the yarn, I hold the yarn around my pinky, I wrap it around my pinky, then pulling it up to my index finger, pointer finger, whatever you want to call it. I wrap it around my pointer finger, and then I grab it with my middle and my thumb. So, and the reason you want to do this is because it pulls and it has tension. You need tension when you crochet, because otherwise it's going to be really hard to work your yarn on your hook. Okay? So, let's see. Pinky around, up and over to your middle and your thumb. There you go. So that way it's easier to crochet. Alright, so what I'm going to do is now show you how to hold your crochet hook. Here I have my 5.0 crochet hook, and I have seen many people hold their hook different ways. The only way I've learned to hold mine is like this. It's easier for me. It's come out, you know, doesn't make my hand cramp up. That is another thing though too. When you first start, I would grab everything so tight because I wanted to try and learn how to do it, and I'll get so stressed out. But calm down. It's alright. It's just crochet, people. And when you grab it, just hold it in your hand, and you're going to have your yarn in your left hand. Okay? And then when you crochet, I've seen some people hold it like a pin. And I I could not do that. I have no idea how they do that. And I just did not know how to hold the crochet hook, and that's all it is. You just grab it, hold it, and work on it like that. Like I said, I've seen some people hold it like this, you know, different ways. But you just have to get the feel of it, okay? So, this is the beginning video. Get your stuff together so that way you can join me on my next video, and I will show you how to do a slip knot and to chain your yarn, okay? How to hold it together and have fun with it, alright guys? So, grab your stuff and then look for my next video, okay? Thank you so much for joining me today and appreciate it. God bless y'all. Have a good one.